Was it on?
Yes, it was on.
Sorry about that. I didn't know. It shows something different. You caught it at a bad moment because baby Crone is late. She's tardy as always. Well, nevertheless, we're here, and I'm sorry that we were a few minutes late. Okay, now, today, what we're going to be talking about, zodiac signs, how they relate to us, and how do we pick our right mate. I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I've been studying on this. I say for about, I don't know, all my life, I should say. But when it started making sense through meditation and speaking with my ancestors, these things began to be clear to me, and the mistakes that we make when we meet our partner. We're going to go more into that while baby Crone is gone. Before baby Crone come in. So, outside of that, let's see what's going on in the world. Okay, well, we see that Julie Christie probably getting off, which is good for her. Another thing that we find that is good, we did our blood test on TV to get to see what our blood type was, and we found that was very interesting. Hi, baby Crone. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Ever.
Yes.
All right. So here we go. So, baby Crone, you need to get it all together. I was just talking about chit chat. If you look at the episode this week of Kimberly, you see that Kimberly is not happy being a mom.
Nope, she is definitely not.
She's not happy, and not happy. Okay, baby Crone. So where you want to start off with this? Come here. Okay, don't be messing up stuff when you're on air looking all fly and pretty. All right, let's get it together. So what we're going to be talking about? Let's get it started.
First off, we're going to be talking about it's most important to recognize your sun sign first because that is your first personality that people interact with, and it's the most person you will express in this lifetime. I could go a little bit more deeper by talking about how the sun sign is literally your perspective of the way you view Earth in this life, as well as the soul also.
No, go ahead.
As well as the sun also represents your soul or manifestation of your soul.
And also your sun sign is the way you project yourself to the world and the way that the world see you. Remember, it's the sun sign. It's the sign that you see during the light. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. It's sun, right? So it's what's beaming on you. Really, a lot of times, I would say 75% of the time, the sun sign is not the real us. It is the persona that we put on. It is the clothes, the makeup. It's the airs, the speech. Many of us stand in the mirror for years to get the right speech, to copy someone, to dress like someone, and it's ever changing. Yes. So the sun sign is only a part of who you are. The real you is not this. No. The real you is shrouded inside, which is the moon sign. The sign, and if you notice, I like to think overall that the moon and the sun, they have about the same amount of time to shine. Yes. However, the sun is always shining, just not shining in your neck of the woods, but it is reflecting off of the rock of the sun. That's why we had the moon. If there had been no moon, we wouldn't have no sun because they work together. Go ahead, baby Crone.
Yes. Another thing that's very important about sun signs is the fact that there are, to break it down just a little bit, as we know, there are 12 sun signs, mm-hmm. and therefore there is the way we see to break it down is the fact that each sun sign has a pair, which is your opposite. So therefore there are 6 pairs. Yeah, 6 pairs of soulmates out there. Like, for example, to keep it real simple and easy, Aries would have the opposite sign of Libra, and that's a mate. Now somebody did make
You had Sagittarius and you have Gemini. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, name all 6. There's 12, but they 6. But they have variables. and you have hundreds and hundreds of variables.
Yes,
And another thing, people may say, well, that doesn't make sense because that means you would only have 12 mates. That would be like only 12 mates. Well, you only have what, 6 vows?
yeah, that's true.
You know, you only have what, 26 alphabets. You know, but when it comes down to numbers, you only have 9, right?
Yeah.
When it comes down to planets, we only have what? 8 or 9.
9 if you include Pluto.
I do. So 9. So go ahead. You only have 4 seasons. You only have 7 days of the week.
Yes.
But it's the look, when you even eat, you eat the same food over and over again.
Yeah.
You don't eat differently every week. You eat the same thing. You probably switch up a little, but you eat the same thing. It's just you don't realize that we are creatures of habit.
Yes.
So because of that, everything around us is like that. Go ahead, baby. Call.
Yes. Somebody said.
Oh, before you go, I need to know what time is it? I don't know because we try to do like an hour.
It's 6:19.
Well, you have to let me know when an hour and a half is up.
Okay.
Because I had no idea. Okay,
right.
Go ahead.
Somebody said, I love the bright colors, Crones.
Oh yeah, we figured this is our spring. This is our summer thing. This is our summer thing.
Aw. And then they said, can we get a tutorial to find how to be so beautiful like you two? Thank you.
Well, not trying to be sassy. I truly believe beauty is from within.
Okay.
It's how you see yourself. And for me, I can't speak for Baby Cone. She'll tell you her own. My thing is I'm fighting age. So I don't want to overeat. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to. I want to be able to look as young as I can. I don't have a problem with getting fillers, and I don't have a problem with getting Botox. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with if they say I just have to eat spinach and greens and this, and I don't have a problem with that. Just don't overwhelm me with a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how I do it. I mainly work on my health. That is the one thing that I do. And another thing, I don't believe in taking a lot of medicines. If I'm in pain, I will take a Tylenol. If I had to, and the doctor said I need this antibiotic, after giving him a fuss of my life, I will take the antibiotic. You understand?
Yes.
But I would prefer to go what Baby Crone is doing. And what's that?
Naturopathic.
I really would rather go naturopathic. But it is so hard to find them. I don't know where they are, and I know they don't take your medical. So from what I understand, a friend of mine went many years ago, and she said a visit, just her visit was $500, and that was years ago.
Wow.
So it could be $700 just for one visit. But she says they give you your herbs and all of that, you know. So, Baby Crone, if you go that route.
Yes. I already have a platform where I can share that with people.
And I also think that the naturopathic and the medical they both medical. They should work together.
They really should. For
people that don't want to go medicine. That way the doctor knows what they're taking. And the doctor can keep checking up on them and send them to the naturopathic if they can. And I think the insurance should cover it. Just like I think insurance should cover chiropractors.
Yes. Just a quick thing to say about medical astrology speaking.
Which you are studying.
Yes. I forget what the Latin word is, but have you ever seen that RX label on your medicine?
Yes.
That symbolizes, at least in ancient times, that the doctor that prescribed you this medicine looked at your birth chart and prescribed the medicine to be exactly fitted to you. And that's crazy because these days,
crazy.
No, it's crazy because
what they
doctors
do
aren't
today
doing that
is
today.
crazy.
Yes,
because they don't want you to know. They. I think what I really think. I don't want to get too far away from this, but what I think is this. I think that they want us to take all the medicine they can, get us away from the root of life. They don't want us to know the roots. They don't want to know how they heal. But every medicine that you take, even chemo, it comes from the root of the earth.
Yes, it does.
Everything. There's nothing, even a vitamin, even what they selling on TV, it's an herb. It's an herb for it. But because the pharmaceutical companies want to get rich, They don't want you to go natural, because if you go natural, you'll grow your own garden. But they're going to be in control of that. Why? Because you can't buy any kind of seed. You can only buy the seed what the government tells you to buy, and you know it's been tampered with. So I'm just being honest. Like I said, I would know these things because I'm definitely into eating healthy and trying to preserve my youth. My age. Let me put it that way. Go ahead, baby Cron.
Yes.
Am I right? Am I speaking true?
Oh yes, that's literally 100% true.
I care. And baby Cron is larger than me. We fight all the time over. Here's an example. I don't care if she get mad, but she wouldn't. I told her stomach was getting fat. And I know when she's getting a little bit bigger because her stomach will start getting pooty poo. And I'll say, I see that stomach. And I know that it bothers her, but I know that's love. I wish that I had someone there to remind me. And I don't know why we would get offended when you know that somebody is loving you. It ain't like I talk about her weight, but if she's flipping, she's going to hear my mouth over and over until I start seeing that she cares. And why? Because I'm not going to be here forever.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is baby Crone I want baby Crone to outlive me. I don't want to be putting her in some urn or a box. I don't think it'd be a box. Sorry, baby Crone. The idea of being buried in a box, no. And the fact that somebody say that I can't bury her, that is horrifying to me. Destroy me. That I can never resurrect this body. That it would just be gone. But then again, you can't ever get rid of something that existed.
That is true.
But go ahead, baby Cron.
Yes, back to the astrology. Speaking of being rebirthed onto this earth and coming back as your sun sign.
Now you may not believe that, but we do.
Yes, we
go
do.
Ahead. And this is what my ancestors are telling me. Because you're born into a house.
Yes.
That means I was born in the house of Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't born at home, but I was born under that sun. So I'm a daughter. So we're daughters and sons of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe no matter how many lifetimes I come back, excuse me, I come from that star seed.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, baby.
Yes. Most definitely, because that is a good question to talk about. But to talk about the basically 6 pairings of soulmates that
you know,
you show up on your spit.
I did. I did. I'm sorry. I can't bleep it out. Go ahead, baby.
Yes. So there are a total of 6 pairings of soulmates because there is 12 zodiac signs, and if you divide that in half, basically that is 6 and 6 makes 1 pair. So in the pairing, we have should I say the houses too, or just the zodiac?
We'll do the houses. We'll do the zodiac, and then you could do the houses.
Okay.
So if you want to take notes, because we're just going to go through this. Because like I said, we have an hour and a half.
Yes.
And so, because usually by then, after all this talking, baby Crone and I get hungry.
Yeah, that is true.
And then I don't want to get sloppy. So I am. Am I in the camera? Do I need to move over some?
You need to scoot over a little bit more. Okay. The colors kind of come off as highlighters on the camera.
But we are looking at you because we love you. And thank you for joining us, really. I don't care if it's one person. I don't care if it's 100 or 1,000,000. What I care about is that the word go forth and that it changes your life, because that's what we are about.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So to stick with the zodiac signs, also, I just would like to make a quick note that because you guys see this. Okay, you guys can't see this too well.
No need in trying.
Okay. Well, there are to talk about the 6 pairings. There are 6 that are above the horizon and 6 that are below the horizon. So therefore, one zodiac sign in the pairing is always going to be above the horizon, and one pairing is always going to be below the horizon. And that also symbolizes coming together as like a whole. So to finally talk about the pairings, we have Aries with Libra. That's one pairing. We have Taurus with Scorpio, and that means if you look at a birth chart, they're going to be directly opposite of each other. Always
And it's like moving like a clock.
Yes.
But these signs are always facing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you have neighbors. But these signs are always like, it's always there. It's like, you're always in my face.
Yes.
You always there, but that is your opposite. But go ahead.
Yes.
Like protons and neutrons. Go ahead.
Yes, I like the one example you gave of mirrors.
We mirror each other. We're there and we need each other. But go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, baby.
So Taurus and Scorpio. Then the third pairing is Gemini and Sagittarius. The fourth pairing is Cancer and Capricorn. The fifth pairing is Leo with Aquarius. And
they would seem that they would get along because I think a Leo's time enough for an Aquarius.
Mm-hmm. They are both
because they both got fiery. The Aquarian has very sharp wit and can be short-tempered.
Yeah.
And impatient.
Mm-hmm.
And the lion, which is Leo, they could be short-tempered.
Yep.
And they could be sharp and just overwhelming. So they know how, to them, they would just back off of each other. Because it would just be like an ongoing internal love affair, but imbalanced.
Yes. That's why we do say that even though there are opposites of you, they are basically a mirror of you, so you guys can understand each other and also maybe also get on each other's weak points at the same time.
And to be clear, just using the Leo and the Aquarian, just for that, you got to understand the Leo is fire, but the Aquarius is water. So what you have, the Leo is
actually air.
Did I say air?
You said water.
I meant to say air. I'm sorry about that. Air. And what you have is the masculine fire, which is Leo, but the feminine air, which is Aquarius.
Yes.
So you see that balance? Mm-hmm. They're opposite. Why? Because air fans fire.
Yes.
And you know what would fire do? Fire stifles air. Right? So you got to know the elements. They do more than that, but I'm just trying to keep it elementary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And to talk about the other four elements, which would be...
Baby, if I say anything you don't agree, because this is what she studied. I got the message of the pairing, but this is what she studied. I studied too, but I studied cards. That's what I study, the meaning, the ins and outs, and all of that. That's what I study. And learning the astrology part of the course. That's what I'm into. So we're learning the same thing, but we're learning two different arts.
No, that's true. And then we have the last pairing, which is Virgo and Pisces, which is earth and water. And to talk a little bit about how those two elements will work together, I could kind of see that because Virgo is all about tending to that
eternal flame.
Yes, that eternal flame, caring about health in the body, and a Pisces, which is more spiritual and wanting to break the bounds of reality. I could see them wanting to connect with a Virgo.
Also, I don't know, about Aquarius, but I'm liking to learn the deeper things. And because I was born in the house of a Virgo. See, all these things make a difference.
Yes, it does.
I was born in the house of Virgo, right? My sun sign, the sun was there.
Yes.
But Jupiter wasn't. And I was born under the planet of Jupiter because Jupiter rules Sagittarius.
Yes.
That's her seed, right? I don't care who you are. If you are Sagittarius, we are brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Okay? No matter what. If you are Virgo, you are brothers and sisters in the earth. You understand? Because they are your family. That is your house. And that house is of many people, of many denominations, for eons and eons and eons in this solar system.
Yes.
And this is what we were made from. We were made of the star seeds of this solar system. We was made of the very earth of the ground.
Yes.
Literally. Go ahead, baby.
Yes. And because of this, the you will see that when you take a look at the zodiac signs and how they are paired off with each other, you see that air will always be paired with fire,
Right.
and earth will always be paired with water.
And tell them why.
That's, first off, that's just based off of how they are laid
It's
out.
like that because fire and air rises up.
Mhm.
That's why they pair together. Fire is the masculine. They both masculine.
Yes.
Fire and air both are
Yes,
masculine.
they are.
But fire is the masculine.
Mhm.
And that's why they say things like the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Fire, because it's holy, because it can go so far up into the atmosphere. However, air can go, but it can't rise as high as fire. But it is, that's why you hear when they say Satan or Lucifer is the prince of the power of the air. What does that mean? That means frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So that means when you're talking to an air sign, they can hear deeper than what you're talking. Not all of them. I mean, you got exceptions to the rules, but
Yes.
I'm talking about those that understand.
Mm-hmm.
You got many air signs that don't believe in this. So you got to limit out, you got to weigh with wisdom. But those that are in tune,
Yes.
they know they can hear. They're very good communicators.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're good communicators, it can make them hustlers. It can make them liars, cheaters. It can go against them because they can maneuver themselves into anything because they know how to control the frequency. Go ahead. Not all. So you got to bear in mind. And you got to bear in mind that a lot of signs are with wrong partners.
Yes,
Go
they
ahead.
are.
Most of people, most of us.
Yes, most of them, even though they might pair with the element that complements them, like let's say a fire
Let's
sign.
use a person.
Okay, let's use a person for this example.
We picked out some people to start using it as a person.
Yes.
I hope you are enjoying it, and I know that it might be fast, but if you want, we can go over it again at another time. But right now, we're just trying to give you a synopsis of what's going on, just like a syllabus, and we're just going through the syllabus and explaining it the best we can because this is very complicated. You can't learn it in one night at all.
No, you cannot. Okay, a very good example is to talk about how you can pair up with your opposite sign. For example, Halle Bailey and DDG. Halle is a air sign. She's she's a fire sign. She's an Aries. So Aries is a very powerful fire
and
sign.
warring because they're ruled by Mars. All these things play an effect. Even the planet.
Mm-hmm.
The house, they are the first house.
Yes, they are.
Which
the first
technically,
house.
the year should start in Aries because that is the time when spring comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Things start to grow again. Why are we having? It's funny. Even Jesus wasn't born. Remember, he was born of the Virgin, so that meant he would have been a Virgo. And Virgo is even in the fall of the year.
Yes.
These things, right after summer.
Yes.
Am I right? So even that don't add up.
Virgo's the end of summer.
Right.
Hailing in fall.
But but you see what you got.
Exactly.
But my point is, but if the season were to be right, and the seasons were to say, let's start the year and March, because that's when the seeds start. That's when things start to bloom. Then you will see us going around to the summer, and we will enter into the darkness and to the grave or winter. Because winter in certain parts of the United States or the world, winter is the hibernation period.
Yes.
The days are extremely long. At 4:30, it's like dawn. At 5:30, it is black. And you get lost in that. People have to drive home in that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's crazy. But go ahead, baby.
Yes. So Halle, she is an Aries, which is a fire sign. And like I said earlier, the opposite sign to Aries would happen to be a Libra, and that's an air sign, which DDG does happen to be that. So therefore, she, on the surface level, because we're just looking at their sun signs, it appears to be that she had found.
What is DDG?
A Libra.
And he's air.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
And air, and what are the four quadrants they're in? Mutable.
3, 5, fixed.
What is Libra?
Libra is cardinal.
And okay.
Aries is also cardinal.
And we're mutable.
Yes.
Okay. That's important too.
Yes, it
Explain that before you go in detail, just explain that briefly about the cardinal, fixed, and mutable. That's important to know.
Yes, it is important to know. And the way they break it down is for each of the 4 seasons, there are 3 periods you can describe it as. The cardinal period, which is just when the season started. The fixed period.
No, explain to her, what does it mean when a season just started? What does that mean?
Cardinal represents hailing in a new season.
In other words, like Christmas Eve hails in Christmas Day. So when you come to Christmas Eve, well, actually at Thanksgiving is the time of being grateful. Well, you know, it goes back to the pilgrims, but let's just keep it simple.
Yes.
So, but it hails in winter. So you know when Halloween comes, you know the fall is really coming in full bloom.
Yes.
When Thanksgiving comes, which is October, you got November, then you know you get ready to go into the winter season, right?
Yes.
So it hails it in. So, and if you look at our holidays, if you look at the winter solstice, you'll see the fall solstice. And you see it starts it off with chilly, Halloween,
right.
Dark, the creepy and the spooky. It gets you ready. And then Thanksgiving, you see it's a feast. Everybody is inside now. People not hanging outside. The dinner is in. Nobody's saying have a cookout. No. We making a turkey or roast chicken or whatever you do. And then the next holiday to bring in is Christmas. So now you're decorating, but now they bring the trees in the house so the house can smell like pine, and you see the winter. And then the next holiday that comes is the New Year's celebration. Why? Because now we had a new year, but that is so wrong.
It is.
Why? Because everything is falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Why? How can something be new when it's dead? Not dead in that sense, but fall back, like the bears hibernate.
Right.
It's just by nature you fall back.
Mm-hmm.
Did I make that more clear?
Yes, you did make that
Okay.
more clear, and made me see how fall, the holidays that you have in fall actually just makes me think about how holidays period.
Look at the 4th of July.
Yes.
Bang bang, the flag, the parade.
Yep.
Think of it. It's
Start of summer.
Start of summer. Come on, 4th of July. You know, even though they call it Independence Day, yes, we know, but think where it's at.
Yes.
They could have celebrated Independence Day any day, but they choose that because it is the spring. It is the definitely summer has came in on the 21st or the 22nd, so they're hailing it in now. And that's what it means to be, what is it?
A cardinal.
A cardinal. You like, hey, the season changing. You don't know, but as cardinal signs off, for each 3 quadrants, they all have a different personality. So if you hailing in summer, you're gonna be lively. You're gonna be like, I don't like to sit still. If you hailing in spring, you like, oh my goodness, oh, you know, oh. If you bringing in the winter, you're like, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing nothing. It's cold out there. I don't know. It's dark. You see, it's a mind play. But we are our elements. Am I helping, baby?
Yes, most definitely. That is very fitting, and maybe that's why 2 cardinal signs, for example, like Aries and Libra, the start of fall and the start of spring, could get along with each other because they understand
by nature.
Yes.
By nature itself.
Because spring and fall are kind of opposite of each other. Spring is just starting to get hot, and fall is just starting to get cold. And together they can make that nice blend together with each other.
Like you have Sagittarius, which we are fall.
Yes.
We're working towards the end of fall, right? So, but who facing me?
Gemini.
And he is the beginning of what? Summer.
Actually,
because
the ending of
ending of spring and the beginning of summer, because he starts in May.
Yes.
It starts in May and it ends
in
June.
Mhm.
And then on July the 4th, summer has already came in,
right.
but we're full blown in summer. When July the 4th, you're full blown summer. Because you had a few days
That's
to
true.
get in. So you has already been held in by the Cardinals.
Mhm.
So they give you time to do it. And
Yeah.
each season lasts about what, 3 months?
3 months.
That's all you got. But go ahead,
Mhm.
baby.
Yes.
Is that too much?
No, I am loving this conversation.
Okay.
Because it's very informative because we're breaking down the elements. And so this is definitely gonna have to watch it a few times because this is
a crash course.
yes.
Because we really want to give it to you. So go ahead, baby Clone.
Yes.
So when we really get into, because it's 30 minutes, because we got 30 minutes to talk, that's an hour,
Mhm.
and then we got 30 minutes to open up the lines.
Yes.
Normally I do it differently, but today I didn't. So we're gonna have to speed this up a little bit, and we're
Okay.
gonna have to get into the signs so we can start showing them through signs.
Okay.
How many people we have watching? You don't
double check. It's 2.
Good. That's great.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So we talked about a pairing that could be a match, which was DDG and Halle as an Aries, and Libra, DDG as a Libra, so therefore they're opposites and they're a match.
So you have spring and fall.
Yes. Another match to bring it up in some age.
No. Let's deal with that.
Okay.
That. Really, come on. What you got to say about it?
Just the fact that they're opposites of each other.
Are they matched?
Yes, they are matched.
So they are supposed to be matched. That is their match together.
Yes.
Okay. All right. But if you see spring, right? And so it depends on the way you're looking at the wheel. But spring, let me get this right. Spring comes, wait a minute, am I doing this right? Fall, what comes first? What season?
Spring.
Spring comes first and then fall.
Yes, fall comes a few seasons afterwards.
I'm trying to figure it out. I don't want to move forward until I understand that. Okay, you have spring. You have spring. You have, if I'm going backwards.
Okay.
If I'm going forward, it would be spring, summer, fall, and winter. If I'm going in reverse, it would be spring, winter, fall, summer. And that's what we're on. We're on that, right?
Yes.
That spring, winter, fall, and summer.
Yes.
We're going backwards. Instead of going spring, summer, fall, and winter. And if you can, it will separate because you got 3 quadrants, just like a clock. You have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Even nature itself bear witness to
yes,
it.
It does.
So it's 3. So by the time those 3 months going on, you done moved into a different, what do they call those quadrants? I call them the cardinal. What is it called?
Cardinal.
No, what is the name?
Modes.
Those modes. So you have moved from those modes. It's moving fast, but it feels like it's moving slow. Go ahead, baby.
It does. So that just shows you how much Halle and DDG.
They are alike.
Yes, they are a lot alike.
What about their moon sign?
Yes, their moon signs, however,
excuse me.
They have the same moon sign. They both are Capricorn moons. Yes.
And that's Earth. Capricorn is Earth, right?
Yes.
And also Capricorn is winter. So it's a fixed sign. Am I right?
It's the cardinal sign.
It hails in Capricorn. But and cardinal again. I'm learning these 2 things too. So what is cardinal again?
Cardinal's the start of the season, beginning of.
And Sagittarius
is mutable.
It's the ending of a season. We don't thank God.
Yes.
Go ahead. And that is so true. Because when I be like, thank God for that heat. It's over. Or I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I can't wait. Like I'm always right at it. And that is true. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why mutable sign will get along with mutable sign. But so because of that.
And that's why they call mutables fickle. But go ahead.
That is true. That is very true. So because of that, their sun signs are considered soulmates. and then they get each other both emotionally because they're Capricorns. However, I do wonder if the moon signs should also be paired up with like their opposite.
How can that be?
Because like with the sun, if Aries and Libra are opposites of each other, then I feel like in the moon, a Capricorn should be opposite of a Cancer. So that way they would balance each other out more. I mean, that's really asking the most from the stars to be that well paired up with each other.
Now, if you're going to think that way, I like it. But I think if it's that deep, that's your soulmate.
Yeah, your soul.
That you met somebody that y'all see each other in a way beyond natural. That means together y'all can do the impossible possible.
And we do have a example of that on our list.
Yes, we do. It's an older couple.
Yes, it is.
You may not know who they are, but you can look them up.
Yes. It is Katharine Ross and Sam Elliot.
Yep.
Katharine is an Aries. I'm sorry, she's an Aquarius. And Sam is a Leo. And how funny, we just talked about this at the very beginning about how you can see how an Aquarius and Leo will be soulmated to each other.
And they are perfectly matched. And they're old. Now understand, she had been married several times before. He could have been married too, but I think she was married, 3 times, maybe 4, I don't remember. But she had been married several times before. A good actress back in the day. And Sam Elliott, he was a good actress. They old now, but they still please. Well, I know I may see him in something. He could be in a cowboy movie or something. But his name is Sam Elliott. When he was younger, he was so handsome. When she was younger, she was very pretty. And so they had their issues with people until they found each other.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Even down to their moon signs. Katharine is a Libra. Well, how fitting I picked Halle and DDG earlier.
And I don't want you to leave them alone.
I will. But Katharine, her moon sign is a Libra, and Sam's moon sign is an Aries. And even the moon signs are soulmated to each other because an Aries and a Libra is a pair, and then their sun signs are soulmated by being an Aquarius and a Leo. So,
and you know what? If you notice about like Holly, because she's the what?
Aries.
She probably get the fact that DD get jealous, insecure because he's a Libra, and why? Because he had the scales. He always had to be balanced.
Yes.
And when he's unbalanced, he's like a Kim Kardashian. They make drastic mistakes. Because what? Remember, they go by the frequency. So if they hear something over there or something is going on over there that maybe Holly's not around and he hears him, it's easy to get in trouble. Because he's air, and air moves. So is, what is she?
Aries.
Aries is fire, and Aries move. And a lot of times when you look at that couple, you look at Holly as so innocent and sweet, and that she could be. You understand? But she is very strong, very feisty. But she may not be the kind that yell. She just may be the one that just speak and say a thing and cause things to happen.
I think that has to do with the fact her moon sign is an earth sign.
To rumble her, you done pissed her off.
Oh, yes.
For her to come undone with you, you done pissed her off. Because she is earth. And that earth in her balanced the fire. So she's not like Ellen DeGeneres.
Yes.
Ellen DeGeneres is what? Fire and air. Her earth sign is fire, right?
Yes, her moon sign.
Her moon sign is
fire and Aries.
And her earth, she's Aquarius, right?
Yes.
And that's air. So she don't have a break. She's always up. She's always in something. She's probably irritable, short-tempered, thinks she know everything. She probably just out of whack, out of balance, because she needs someone to balance her. Yes. But her significant other, her wife, is an Aries. Is Aquarius also. And they probably will have a hard time getting together.
Yes.
Right. But are they meant to be? Is an Aquarius what was it? Well, Ellen DeGeneres.
An Aquarius. They're both Aquarius.
Are they meant? Are they?
No, they're supposed to be with Leos.
See?
But they're paired with each other.
And you see, when that happens,
yes,
you can get along for a long time. You've heard it. People have been married for 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say 50. And they break up.
Yes.
They're not compatible. And you'll hear the stories. I didn't get along with him for years. I didn't get along with her for years.
Mm-hmm.
People stay in relationships and they're not even compatible. But at the beginning, you are drawn to them. And a lot of times people fall in love with their neighbors. So what do you mean? I am a Sagittarius.
Yes.
My neighbor is to my left. My neighbor would be a Scorpio. But
Mm-hmm.
to my right, it would be Capricorn.
Yes.
And usually we fall in love with what we want. Now, Scorpio is water. I'm fire. This is earth. And right across from me, what?
Air.
Air.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a full quadrant.
Yep.
It's full. Because you need all four of those elements to work and operate in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
You can't live without one or the other. So we walk around not being full in our thing. That's why your soulmate is something you need. Now, the curious thing about it is, I'm fire. How could it be? This is how you know that these things were created by something beyond us. How can it be that I'm a Sagittarius and you know I need air? Why? Because I need something to fuel me. I need something to move me. Air moves fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I need that. I need to be moved. But too much movement can burn those Sagittarius out. Right? Too much fire can stifle. So it's not that we're not compatible. That's where it goes in. What about the moon sign?
Yeah.
Because that's the outer appearance. First attraction, first I see you, then I love you, we kiss, and everything is wonderful. But then a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then you're not getting along. You're like, what? We're too much for each other.
Yes.
Because we're not too much. We'll probably stay together forever, but it'll always be. And it'll always be like this. But if I was married to someone that not only are they my compatible, but they also my moon compatible, because then we can balance each other physically and spiritually.
Yes.
It'll be the even. And that's what Elliot and Katharine.
Yes, Katharine.
DDG, and what's his name?
Halle.
They had the same thing.
They have the same moon sign.
But they don't have the same.
Their sun signs are soulmates, but they share basically the same moon. That
could be good, but if they don't make it, it's too inward. In other words, it could be too heavy. Mm-hmm. It could be too much talky, just too much. Because when you both are alike in anything, it's like, here's a case. Tia and Tamara.
Okay.
When they were coming up, they looked like they walked like they were cousins, two of a kind. Now they are so far from each other, they don't even look alike anymore.
No.
They look alike, but they don't look alike.
Yes.
Tia's got a little bit of weight, but then she lost it. Tamara, they just don't. Look, Tamara is into white men, Tia's into black. You see?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't. When you are the same, that doesn't mean they don't love each other. Doesn't mean they won't go to bat for each other.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that they won't dress alike. It doesn't mean none of that. Mm-hmm. It just means it's too much of the same. It becomes redundant, and one is going to want to spread out and say, "I just don't want this."
Yes.
And that's how it is in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I do have a perfect relationship to draw home on how being too similar is not good. Mm-hmm. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez.
Too much fire.
Yes. No, not even that either. They are both Leos, but their moon sign is also Scorpios. So their sun signs are the same and their moon signs are the same.
And that's not good.
Mm-mm.
See? Too much alike.
Too much.
And you may say how. So when I'm thinking about it, so Jennifer, this give a case in point. Right now, J-Lo is somewhere traveling and left Ben alone.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she doing it? Because she knows that bother Ben.
Yeah.
She knows that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way they fight.
Yes.
So she knows that. And so Ben, in return, no, I'm tired of her antics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired. They are so much, they probably don't even bicker. They bicker, but they probably don't push to each other because they can see right through each other. There is no place to escape. You see what I'm saying? And I believe the reason why Ben went back to Jennifer, and wait till you find out about Jennifer Gardner. The reason why Ben went back to Jennifer, I think he needed to complete that circle. I think they both needed to say, we were perfect. They never were perfect. They too much alike. It's too much. They drown each other out. They overwhelm each other. They're too much alike. It's hard to surprise each other when you're too much alike. And when you're too much alike, what are you doing? You're going to be drawing on the negatives.
Yes.
So the negative things. And here we go. Jennifer, who wants to be out in the light, who wants to be seen. Ben, no, and you also got to understand too that it's always a male and a female. Even if it's lesbians or even if it's a gay couple, it's always going to be one, regardless of what you look like. It's going to be one that has to be masculine and one that has to be feminine. It will never be too feminine. I don't care if they dress like women. I don't care if they dress like men. One of them are going to be more dominant than the other. Why? Because it's only natural that you attract that. Yes. Even if it's the same sex. Am I making sense?
Yes, you are making sense. So just on that shows you how when are too much alike, how you guys cannot get along with each other.
Can't do it.
And first off, just to talk about it, fire and water are naturally kind of enemies.
Right.
So the fact that their sun sign is fire and their moon signs are water, they both internally have their own struggles that they have to get through.
And also, because they're water, that means they have a lot of emotion. That means they're sensitive. And Jennifer Lopez is probably more sensitive because she's fire and she's air and she's Leo. She's going to show like, I'm not bothered. Nothing bothers me. But she's just a watery bag of tears because of the moon. And you said Scorpio?
Yes.
Scorpio can be very, very hard because they got that deadly sting. But also about Scorpio, they could be hard. They can fight back and they could be strong and they can go against what they feel to prove a point to you because Scorpios are, what is it, the devil? Oh, that's Capricorn.
That's Capricorn. Scorpio is death.
That knew it was something. See, Scorpio, in other words, they will stand to the death. They are not easily moved. So they do things to hurt each other in a deadly way because they both know, like, why would you go? Why would he move out the house? Well, we know why, but why would you move out the house? She goes looking for a house. And then not only does she go looking for a house, she's gone off someplace in a boat with her friends. Yes. What is that? But you say you love them. But I heard that she's moving to New York to be close back to her ex-boyfriend. I think I heard that on TMZ.
Right.
I'm not sure. But my point is, I hope that you can see how it operates. In a few minutes, we're going to open up the line and for you to call in and ask questions if you dare. Or, because our phone is definitely working. So we're going to do all that. So what are you doing, babe?
I am.
And also, let me say this. Now you gotta also understand that this is another thing. Now, when you're looking at these signs that operate and what's the differences? You got planets and you got asteroids that's in there from previous life. In other words, your job is to find your soulmate, find your peace, find your happiness, so you can elevate.
Yes.
But because of the confusion of numbers, the confusion of everything, everybody is turned topsy-turvy and we're where we're not. In other words, you could be walking with my soulmate. Right? Am I right?
That is true.
And you're never fully happy because you're in the wrong place. But nobody tells us, wait a minute, They do it with religion. They'll say, if you are Christian, you should marry a Christian. If you're a Jew, marry a Jew. If you are, it's better to marry your own because you understand it. Well, why don't they tell you that when it comes down to astrology? You need to find your soulmate. Your soulmate would be an air, but not any air.
Right.
Because there's other air. You got Aquarius is an air. You got Libra that's air.
Yeah.
And then I'm missing and Virgo. No, Virgo's Earth.
Yeah.
So you got Libra,
Aquarius, and Gemini.
I got 3 things that are air. But that I need Gemini fire. No, I need a Gemini air. Has to be a Gemini air. However, but if I have, like in my Gemini air, that says where my soulmate will be. Gemini air, but it also has the asteroid in it.
Yes.
Explain it.
Yes, they call the asteroid Juno, and that's supposed to symbolize who your soulmate is. Now, the real question is, because not all the time is Juno going to be in your opposite sign. In my birth chart, it says my soulmate will be a Scorpio, but that's my next door neighbor.
Right. But also it could mean that you got healing to do with your neighbor.
Okay.
Or maybe in a previous life you was with your neighbor and it's like it didn't work out, and so you got some healing to do. You understand? Because it also depends on where Chiron. See, all these things, but they don't teach us this. So this is such a lost art that the way that the planets and everything operate, it has a profound effect on you. Did you know that your zodiac sign has body parts?
Yes, it does.
And it tells you where you will suffer in life more than likely. And it doesn't seem like it's real, but it is.
Yes.
So what we're going to talk about now for the next few minutes?
I want to talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce, because interestingly enough, at first I didn't think they were compatible because they weren't soulmates. But after looking at their sun and moon sign, I'll break it down for you in a second. Beyonce is a Virgo. That's an earth sign.
I was born in the house of Virgo.
Jay-Z is a Sagittarius, which is fire. So first off, a Sagittarius is supposed to be with a Gemini, and he's not with a Gemini, he's with a Virgo. And Beyonce's Virgo is supposed to be with Pisces, but she's with Sagittarius, which is a fire. But this is where it gets even more interesting. Beyonce's moon sign is a Scorpio, which is water. And Jay-Z's moon sign is a Libra, which is air. So together, they have all 4 elements within them.
See, now that could work.
Okay.
I don't know, but like I said, there are like
exceptions.
There are exceptions to the rule, because the rule is you gotta have all 4 elements working in your life. However, but what you see the differences between Beyonce and Jay-Z and Elliot and what's her name?
Katharine.
They have a peaceful relationship.
Yes.
Because they are spaced right. See, if you look at it, everyone is on this side. All of what you have. Aquarius, no, what did you say? He's Sagittarius. Sagittarius is here and Aquarius is here. So they are all on one side.
Yes.
So they lopsided. Right? Am I right?
Yes, they are.
As far as their moons, is it on the...
Nope, their moon signs are neighbors.
See, they're lopsided, so they're too heavy. And the only reason why it works is because of the 5th house, which is
the 6th house.
The 6th house, which is Virgo, because they're home. Virgo's a body. They believe in family. They don't want a divorce. They are the keepers of the eternal flame. They have a spiritual side of them that the Sagittarius too. But the Sagittarius need to feel grounded. They need somebody to ground him. So even though he does things over and over, he's with someone, and that doesn't mean she's not going to get tired. She gets him because he needs her. He needs her typically more than what she needs him. She would need him if financially. She would need him. But inwardly, she doesn't need him.
Right.
Why? Remember the virgin who eternal flame. You know, the Virgin Mary.
Yes.
Right? So she's the virgin. She is a spiritual being.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether these people are or isn't, it's in their DNA to be. You understand? So, but you see that because you see Beyonce have gone to Ifa, she's into religion, she's gone against the norm, and she's trying to find something that ignites in her. I truly believe that Beyonce is in the arts, which is fitting. Why? Because Jay-Z is in the arts. You see, they have so much alike because they cover the bases. Without each other, they wouldn't be happy.
They wouldn't.
Because they at least found each other. It's just that they are too heavy on one side. Does that make sense?
Yes. And something I found interesting looking even more, I'm not sure if this is what they can call divine feminine, because Beyonce as a Virgo is an
She is a divine feminine.
Okay, that would make sense because Virgo is a feminine sign because it's an earth sign, and her moon sign is a Scorpio, which is water, and that's a feminine sign.
Okay, but what would make her divine?
Because both her sun and moon sign are feminine energies.
Yes, true, but the word is divine because she is the keeper of the flames. Gotcha. In other words, what are those women? She is the maiden.
The Vestal Virgin.
She is the Vestal. Explain it.
Back in ancient Rome.
These things are before ancient Rome. Before ancient Rome they were.
That's true.
The universe has already been there. It was just man trying to discover it. Remember, they found Jesus and laying in a manger by the star. But go ahead. So these things are important. Go ahead.
There was a temple of Vesta that had the eternal flame of Rome that kept the energy of Rome alive. And so these Vestal virgins tended to the eternal flame to make sure that Rome's light literally never goes out. Because if the flame went out on Rome, then it is the life force of Rome has burnt out.
Okay. Now, understand that. But that was there before Rome. It's just Rome found out about it and claimed it as its own, as all dynasties do. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like it was just for Rome. No, Rome saw the power in that and used it. You see? So, but when you look now for me, I was born in the 6th house. And I kept wondering, why am I drawn to like these people could be nuns, monks, what is it? Religious people, huh?
Oh, I was saying Buddhists.
Buddhists, anything, because they deal with that eternal flame. And in me, if I was born a Catholic, which my mother was going through her Catholic thing when she had me, but if I would have been born Catholic, I would have been wanting to be a nun. Even if I probably would have been a lousy nun, but because I was born in the house of Virgo, and in the time that I was born, I was so intrigued by the way that they did the fire. It's not physical fire, it's spiritual fire.
Yes.
And they watch it day and night. They worship it. They keep that flame going. It's something the same thing about Israel when they were in the war. And that's why they had the Hanukkah and they had the oil and the flames wouldn't go out. So this is the same, it's the same concept of the virgin. Remember, Jesus was born of a virgin. So it's the same old concept, but Rome was using it as their own. So when you get into all of these things, they intertwine. But because we are so far away from who we are lost. We marry the wrong people.
Yes, we do.
We don't know how to get along with each other, and until we begin to come into it and understand who we are, what to look for. So what I said I was going to do, I wanted to look for a mate. So I said, I'm going to start dating earth signs.
Yes.
It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. Why? Because I feel like they come off too fatherly. So I said, you know what, since I like Aries and I like air, and they say air, Aquarius and Sagittarius get along. They very well may be. but they don't get along with me.
Or me.
Or you either. I don't get along. They too intoxicating. They too heavy. They wants to do the most.
Too sporadic.
Unpredictable. And they very strong natured, high-minded.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they know, you know, and I know, and it makes me feel like you want to be my daddy. And I haven't had a daddy. I don't need that. So I need somebody that's fun-loving, somebody that want to get me out the house, somebody that can strike that fire. Who is best to do that?
Gemini.
Gemini, because that's what Gemini just want to go. Gemini,
social butterflies.
They social butterflies. They can have a lot of friends or not. It just depends, because you got to also understand what is their moon sign too.
Yes. And I'm wondering then, because just like
because you can open up the lines. We get ready to open up the lines, and if you have any questions or anything, please call in.
Yes, please do call in.
Do you have the line open?
Yes, the line is open.
Okay.
Now, we was talking about how Beyonce could be the divine feminine, as both her sun and moon sign are feminine energies. Funnily enough, Jay-Z will be the divine masculine because his sun sign is fire and his moon sign is air, and they're both masculine signs. So even they complete each other in on that. Mm-hmm. Man, no wonder Jay-Z and Beyonce are thick as thieves.
They're so much alike. They complete the zodiac well. What do you mean? They got the air, fire, water, earth. They got that. And they got, what about the quadrants are all three quadrants.
Yeah, basically.
All covered. Mm-hmm. They got mutable, fixed, and cardinal. All fixed. If they got all those things.
Cardinal, yep, and fixed.
And fixed, they fixed. The only negative is they heavy. They're not balanced. Right. And remember, you need to have the balance. Mm-hmm. And they lack balance. That is their biggest problem. If they bicker, if they fight, if they break up in life, it would be only for one reason and one reason only. They're not balanced. But she will never be happy with anyone.
No.
And he will never be happy with anyone. Why? Because no one is, unless she's lucky and find this system, I'm telling her. Mm-hmm. Because he done opened her mind up. They done open each other's mind. So it would have to take her who is her soulmate.
As a Virgo, her soulmate is a Pisces.
She would have to find a Pisces with the right moon sign to get along with her. Yes. Other than that, Jay-Z done covered those corners, and she done covered those corners with Jay-Z. Doesn't matter how much. She understands that Jay-Z is broken. She understands that Jay-Z probably ain't have a father. She probably understands because he's only acting out, and this is so true, not giving anybody the break, but this is what it is. She understands those things, why she is the virgin of a son.
Yes.
And she is the mother of the maidens that keep the flame. Mm-hmm. You see, so there is a part of her that is holy in a sense that need to worship, need to feel motherly, need to be in control. Mm-hmm. And as a Sagittarius, he's a half man, half horse. He's a wild animal with reasoning and thought. He has the propensity to kick and buck and run. He has strong legs and strong thighs. He is connected to the back, to the bone. He has to do it. And if she's not giving him attention, he's spoiled. He needs to be seen. He needs to be the out there one. Why she's like, I'm home. I'm laid back. She's probably a type of person. I don't even know this woman. She's probably the type of person, when she go home, she probably dress down, hair up, and just be herself, whatever. If she drinks, she gonna drink. If she cuss, she gonna cuss. If she use profanity, she gonna use profanity. She's gonna be herself, because being the mother, that's like being the empress. You be yourself, and the empress always like leisure. They eat it up. He, on the other hand, because he's fired, he needs to move. He needs to be a part of the movers and the shakers. He needs to be a part of the money. He needs to be a part of the in crowd. He needs to be a part. Even if he's dumb as bricks, he needs to prove that I am somebody special. Am I right?
Yes.
Not him per se, but any Sagittarius that is a male. You understand what I'm saying? Not him per se, just him. And so when you look at the dynamics between those two, you can see she's probably more of a homebody.
Yeah.
You know, she is the type of woman that's going to love a man and forgive him. Why? Until she can. But in this case, only because they complete each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the best they can. They're negative. I can't stress this enough. They're too heavy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
They're too heavy. They're not balanced. You need, even though they got everything, and what they do is they have everybody working for them. Because they got the whole zodiac wheel working for them.
Yeah.
So they like the king and the queen in their relationship because they got the world working for them. So it's no big deal to me that they are wealthy, because when you hook up with your right soul person, you will be wealthy too.
Yeah, y'all will literally thrive.
You will thrive because you're working together. However, they are heavy.
Yes.
And so if they break up, if she doesn't meet her soulmate, she's going to be miserable. She'll be miserable unless she returns celibate.
Okay.
He won't be happy. He'll just probably play around with different women. He'll just be more of a playboy until he just can't. Until when he's about 1 foot in the grave or he gets sick, he might settle down. But he will not truly be able to let Beyonce go. They complete each other to the best they can. So if I say a relationship is wrong, but it's so wrong it's right, it would be them.
Yes, exactly.
Did I explain that right? They're too heavy. That's their downfall.
Yes.
They don't balance the zodiac wheel themselves. They have, because they cover all of the quadrants and the elements. They just over there in themselves while everybody else is working. But that is not the way. It's imbalance. That is their problem. They would be imbalanced.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Kind of. They're kind of like the magician in that sense, because they have all 4 elements.
Right.
Now, talking about how 2 people can fall in love with their neighbors.
Oh, let's get into that.
Yes, Ariana Grande, who is a Cancer, has fallen in love with Ethan, who's a Gemini.
Won't work.
No, won't work.
I don't care if they get married and have 10 babies. Not gonna work. Why? Because you fell in love with your neighbor. Your neighbor, that's your person. That's your planet that's right next to you. You done fell in love with your concubine. Your concubine. You done fell in love with your confidant. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all are knitted together. Y'all family. It's like your neighbor. You know, your mother or your father, your sister, your brother could be any one of those signs. Whatever is by them.
And so typically, it's usually surprisingly.
It's your mother or whatever. But for them, their problem, what are their signs again?
She's a Cancer and he's a Gemini.
The problem with them is she'll be too sensitive. Cancers are very, very, very sensitive. And he's air. Just like he just up jumped and left his wife, because that's just what air does. And he's mental. So he probably know how to talk to her. Because Geminis, remember, they deal with frequencies. They're great communicators. This is not all Geminis. But it's in every Gemini. You understand? People, because of circumstances, people get lost. But I'm just talking about overall, pretty much smart people. She's with him because he stimulates her mentally.
Okay.
And he probably stimulates her sexually. And vice versa. You see? But if he got bored, he would cheat on her. He would go. However, that would break her heart because she's sensitive.
Right.
You know, she's looking for love. She just, she come off hard, like she's insensitive, like she really don't care. She does. She care about family. She care about things. She's just sensitive. Whether she wants to or not, be sensitive or not, it is. He, on the other hand, he's strong. He's dominant. He's feminine dominant. That's why he can understand her, because he's air. And so he's giving her everything mentally. And she, being a Cancer, moved by water, she needs the cool breeze of the water just moving her along. Or when she needs to be blown, he could just. She's water. And so he knows how to, or Portia. Get her to do things she doesn't want to do or scared to do. Get her to talk because he got that frequency.
Yes. And also, I feel like they are a little too similar to each other because her moon sign is a Libra, which is an air. But this is the interesting part.
But he's an air.
Yes, he's an air sign.
So that's good. Okay.
Yes.
But not good. But
not good. Ethan's moon sign is a Cancer.
What?
Yes.
So they opposite. They the same. They could work.
Okay.
I'm going to say that because where he's, help me with his sign again.
Air.
What's his sign?
Gemini.
He's a Gemini. And what's her air sign?
Her air sign is Libra.
Okay, so so that they opposite. So it's not like two Libras. It's not like two Gemini.
Right.
So she is a Libra, which she carries the balance. So that's good. That's good. But for her, she needs him to balance her on the inner parts. You see that? Because it's her moon. Okay? Now, on the inner part, on the outer part, she helps him. In other words, she probably look pretty, she dressed pretty, she can sing, and you know he's air, so he loves the beauty. He loves to just gloat over it. It's like, oh, so they balance each other out. She needs what he can give her inwardly, spiritually. He needs what she can give him outwardly.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that sense, you can see how they could matter. They could match. However, they don't cover the whole spectrum.
No, they don't. They are basically the same in the fact that they both have air and water in them.
So they're limited. What do you mean? They don't have any earth
or fire.
Or fire. So sooner or later, somebody's going to want fire. They're going to want to be ignited. They're going to get bored. Now, this could be 10 years, 15 years. After a couple of kids, it starts to wear on you. You need that. You need to be well-rounded. That's why when you have your mate, you already got your friends.
Yes.
And that mate is like, whoo, and he's over there. So he can get to you because you're connected. But in that sense, you're full. You got full. They're not full. They're full now because it's good, it's sweet, it's loving, it's in that utopia state.
Yes.
But sooner or later, somebody is going to either get jealous because that's what fire does. You're going to need that, or somebody is going to want something you can't give, or need something you can't give. And that's just the way it is. Not like it is in the Beyonce world. They got everything working for them because they control the outside forces and they understand that they do.
Yes.
So they can pull anything into being, just about. But not Ariana Grande and her, what's his name? Ethan. Not them, no. But they can do for now. And that doesn't mean that they won't get married and stay married. And it doesn't, but they will have moments of a tumultuous marriage.
Yes. Maybe we can call anybody that's not your direct opposite pair your twin flame.
Right.
Maybe these are a bunch of twin flames we're talking about.
Right.
And maybe JC and Beyonce could be soulmates. They're like a weird one of a kind exception.
An exception, absolutely.
Yes, so Katharine.
But they don't have the power. Their staying power could wane. Depends on how heavy it gets.
Okay. Because
remember, they're heavy. They're not balanced. In other words, they too much on this. Like you got the world, and this is where they operate. And from their powers, because they cover all the quadrants, and they cover the modes. They cover all the modes, and they cover all the elements. They can sit back, but they're not doing the work themselves, so they're limited. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Now, riddle me this one with this couple. Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King.
Go ahead, give it to me.
Oprah Winfrey is an Aquarius. And her moon sign is a Sagittarius.
Really?
Yeah, interesting.
She belong part with us. Okay.
Yes, she does.
Mhm.
Gayle is a Capricorn. And her moon sign.
She's our neighbor.
Yeah, she's our neighbor. And her moon sign is an Aquarius. And so
they fill in the chart too.
Yeah, they're only missing water. Yeah. And honestly, they are too much in the high heavens because Aquarius, Sagittarius, and Capricorn is all.
And what I'm seeing in that relationship, they miss water and they lack male energy. Explain it to me. They don't have water, right?
Right.
Okay, so if you don't have water, water is where, you know, the man of the woman, he seed. They don't have water. So
Right.
if you look at, you got to look at water. What does water do? Water is life.
Mm-hmm.
Water is life. Without, you can have all the air in the world, but if you have no water, you dehydrate.
That's that real.
You can't bring life in.
Mm-hmm.
It's dehydrated. You understand?
Yes.
So even though they are wonderful, that they could either, or someone will have to submit, you know. So I would say in their relationship, Oprah would be the dominant one because she is what?
An Aquarius.
Of course.
And Gayle's a Capricorn.
And what's her sun sign? Sagittarius.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because Sagittarius don't like to be the head. They don't like to be the tail. They like to be the head because they have force, half man. They are dual sign, and because man thinking, so that wouldn't work. So the only way that would work, and Gayle is a what?
She's a Capricorn,
Which is Earth,
an Aquarius moon.
so they can get along, and she understands you can be that. When it comes down, so it probably be when it comes down to them, because Oprah is Aquarius and she's Aquarius moon.
Mm-hmm.
So that lets me know that when Oprah get out of line, Gayle know how to check her. She like, I got you checked, boo, and vice versa. But Oprah knows how to make Gayle cry physically. You understand what I'm saying? So in their relationship, they're wonderful. It's no wonder they are the best of friends.
That's true.
Because they are compatible,
Mm-hmm.
but they lack male energy.
Yes.
I hope that
Mm-hmm.
not that the signs are not male, they are castration because they can't produce life.
Mm-hmm.
Is that making sense?
Yes, that does make sense.
They have no life in them. You could be a lesbian and still be with a woman that's well-rounded. Y'all can together, y'all can have it all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they lack water.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce and Jay-Z, they good.
Yes.
Ethan and Ariana, they lack
fire and water.
And that's the high elements. But Oprah is a Sagittarius. Gayle is Earth,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they can balance each other. So they are fire and earth and air.
Yes.
But they lack water.
Mm-hmm.
They get along, but too much of them, they probably bicker.
Right.
So they lack water.
And funnily enough, their signs are like neighbors to each other. Because
Mm-hmm.
Sagittarius is a neighbor to a Capricorn,
Mm-hmm.
and a Capricorn is a neighbor to an Aquarius.
Absolutely.
So therefore, you can really see that they would have that best friend kind of energy.
They had that best friend kind of energy because they fell in love with their neighbors. So they the best of friends. They keep the best of secrets, whatever they do. But as you see, it lacks male energy. It lacks the power of water. And without water, nothing can live. They're living, but they're living in their own illusion.
Mm-hmm.
They're living and they love each other, you know. But you could see how they could go astray.
Yes.
And you definitely can see how they are in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They could say what they want. That's my opinion. Everything I say is allegedly. But you could see that. Why wouldn't they be? You could fall in love with your neighbor. Don't matter how you got there. Maybe it was a oops, I tumbled in. But they love each other and in a way that no man could probably love them at this point.
Right.
But they need water, and maybe that's where Stedman comes in.
That's a good one.
He's the male. But if you notice, he's outside of the relationship.
Yes.
He's not in the relationship. It wasn't Stedman who said that Gayle was sick. I mean, that said Oprah was sick.
Exactly.
It was Gayle. You know, it should have been Stedman. But Stedman is not, and Stedman is still a part of her life, but he's way in the background with them two girls. He probably done lost his voice. They're together, they're very powerful. They can move mountains, them two. Very powerful.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. Most of the celebrities that we talked about today gave good examples of what happens when you're too similar. We got a perfect match both inwardly and outwardly. We got what is called an exception by having all of the elements within you, and you two are both respectively masculine on masculine and feminine on feminine energy. Then you come together and make that whole creative one. We talked about what happens when you are similar in sun signs but different in moon signs, but still not paired up in being one with each other. So I think we literally covered it all. These are really great examples. Definitely something you should take note on, and also look within yourself.
Or when you're dating, find out. That doesn't mean, you don't have to take this. This is just, if you're looking to be paired up, it's work.
It is.
You'll be lonely because
it's hard to find them.
Yeah, just like I said before, in other cultures, they have to marry people with the same last name. What if that last name is dying out? Well, they gotta find them. They gotta be somewhere. That's why you have in some religions, they have matchmakers because they know these things. We don't have those things. We do, but they don't push them. I think America would do good if we really had working matchmakers to really match it and go by the astrology and do it. And you know what? There are variables and exception to the rules. But you got to be able to have a relationship where every element is at play.
Yes.
Because if every element is at play, then every mode is at play. That means there's a time y'all going to be happy. There's a time y'all going to be sleepy. There's a time where you're going to come to life.
Yes.
You need those modes in your life. They pivot points. And so like I said, with Beyonce, they covered all of that. That other couple that was Elliot.
Oh yes, Sam and Katharine.
They covered everything. You have to have a balance. So if you're in a relationship and it's all water, yikes, then you're losing everything. You don't have no water. You have water, but you don't have no air. You don't have no earth. You don't have no fire. So what do you think is going to happen? It becomes too heavy. It gets sad. It's dark. It's dreary, And it may start out beautiful, but then sooner or later it will crack because it needs all the elements to survive.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Or let's say you have a relationship and you have all three elements. Well, whatever that element that you lack, sooner or later, this is why people cheat.
Yes.
This is why people go outside their relationship. This is why people leave, because they're not happy. Sooner or later, somebody is going to feel the indifference. You understand? Unless you're in a relationship like Oprah and Gayle, where they're not married and they could probably still do what they want to do. But it takes a mature mind for people to live like that, to say, you know what, we may be married, but you know what, I don't want to divorce. We respect each other. If you want to go, that's why you even have couples that have swingers, because they know they're learning. That's why in the olden days, back in, what is that word? Indigenous times, they had more than one wife.
Yeah.
Why? Because the balance. You'll lack something. You understand?
Yeah.
And when you're well balanced, your jealousies and your insecurities will be tapered. Because it's a win-win for all of us when we work it out. And when you're balanced, you can work out everything. The moon worked well with the sun, right? And even though all these signs and opposite are natural enemies, they're learning how to work.
Yes.
Air works well with fire because they know how far to push it.
Yeah.
And fire and air knows how to push fire. And earth, same thing, earth and water.
Mm-hmm.
Earth is in, water is in earth. So it's like earth can have a volcano and shake up water, okay?
Yeah.
And water can have a tidal wave and try to drown earth. But
Mm-hmm.
earth is stable. Springtime, harvest time, winter time, whatever.
Yeah.
It is going to be stable until it is combusted and go to the end, and then it will blow into smithereens, and then it will be the great bang, and then it will renew itself over
Yes.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So, did we have any more people? That was it?
Yes, that was it.
That's okay. We got it out.
Yes, we did.
How do you feel about this?
I feel really good. But one thing I just want to talk about, because there are so many methods and ways people out there talk about how you can find your soulmates. I just found something very interesting. No, I just remembered something interesting. There was this trend on TikTok that said that if you and your partner, or you or your sibling, anybody that basically complete each other, like
Right.
moon phase wise.
Right.
For example, a full moon would pair well with somebody with a new moon, because when you overlap the two phases together,
They still circle, they still
Yes.
full. Mm-hmm. They balance. In other words, they done been through complete cycles. But go ahead. And what they're saying about that?
just saying that if your moon signs complete each other, like let's say you both are waxing crescents, but when you put your moon together,
You become whole.
well, crescents wouldn't, because two crescents are like literally thin.
That wouldn't do.
Right.
No.
So maybe like half a moon's like when half
You could do a half a moon or a whole moon.
Right. Or like the gibbous phase, where like maybe one is like a little bit bigger and the one's a little bit smaller.
I don't see how that could work.
As long
Because it puts one more dominant.
that is true.
You have to either, I like what you said, either you both have to be half
Mhm.
or whole.
That is true.
It can't be worked no other way. Like I said, this is what I'm saying about Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Mhm.
They have everything. They have everything. But what they don't have is balance.
Yes.
You see?
Mhm.
But if you have and I have, like if you have 50 and I have 50, and we put that 50, we can make a whole.
Mhm.
But if you are a waning gibbous and I am a, what is it? The other gibbous.
A waxing.
A waxing gibbous, we hollow in the middle. We fit,
Mm-hmm.
we perfect, but we hollow.
Yeah.
So we gotta, then it comes problems. Everything, I think what I would like to leave you with, everything is about balance.
Yes.
Having enough of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be happy, you must find the balance. So when you're starting today, start looking at these things a little bit more quickly. Find out what is their sign.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what is their moon sign. How is it compatible? Is it covering all the three modes? Is it covering the whole planet? Because if so, you can work about y'all. You have a lot in common.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying many signs, 12 signs, 3 modes,
Mm-hmm.
12 houses, 9 planets, and that's all we got.
Yes.
9 numbers,
Many
and out of that
combinations.
was thousands and thousands of combinations.
Yes.
Endless.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, no, that's good. That could work. But you got to have water in your life. You got to have air in your life. You got to have fire. And you got to be grounded with earth. Any of those things lack, you're going to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it could be wonderful at first. But it'll start to show, because like anything, it's like I could be healthy. I could be healthy. But if I don't drink water,
Right.
if I don't drink water, what I mean, if I don't drink Gatorade or something with a nutrient to replenish me, guess what? I will become dehydrated. And sooner or later, I will start having complications. And if
Yes.
I'm not taking care of that, I will eventually die.
That's
So if it's earth and I have no place to land, sooner or later, I'm going to crash. Why? Because I don't have no place to call home.
true. Yeah.
I need earth. You understand? I'm fire. If I'm fire, I need some place to burn. If I don't have no air, I'm going to just burn out. Am I making it sense?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the key. You need to have all elements working between you and your mate. And even on the sun, even on the moon level, because that is the true you on the inside.
Yes.
So you need to balance your outer and your inner.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very hard to find. But if you can end up with, you have all your elements working, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Because it's hard in this life to find your soulmate.
Yes.
But you can find you can see why. But you can find a twin flame.
Yes.
So you want to make sure, I can't stress this, to find someone, and it's hard.
It is.
To find someone that has all the elements between you and this person, have all the elements working in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times you ask people, they don't even know what their moon sign is.
Yes. One good way to find out somebody's moon sign without knowing or without looking at their birth chart is just looking up the date and year they were born.
They would have to give you that information.
That is true. Another, if
you knew their birthday, you can at least get that.
Well, yes, but without the year, you're not going to get the exact moon sign. But what you can,
what do you mean?
Like you have to know what day. Like for example, let me just look this up for. Okay, DDG just happened to be the first person that popped up. His birthday is October 10th. If that's all I knew, it would be hard for me to find out what his moon sign is.
Oh, October the 10th.
Yes. I would have to know. I would need to know the year that they were born.
Right.
People might give you that, but another workaround that is if you don't know the year they were born, if they're being truthful and telling you their age, you can just subtract the year that we're in from the age that they are, and that will tell you what year they're born.
Right. You have to know the moon sign, the sun sign. Baby Crones even told you a way to get to it. So this is wonderful. So remember, if you have the goal is to try to get somehow a combination of all the elements working in your life. It is difficult, but it is not impossible. We gave you numerous of signs that does and doesn't, like Ellen DeGeneres. That won't. What were them again before we leave?
They both were Aquariuses.
They lacked a lot.
Yes, they did. In their moon signs. Oh, I scrolled past.
And no matter how bad a relationship is, and but they can stay married forever, but they won't be a happy relationship.
Yes, they were missing water. They have fire, earth, and air.
They lack water. And you see, they're in trouble. I just read on them. So, you see?
Yes.
They lack water. Well, how are you going to survive with no water? That's the life-giving force. Like, you may say, well, what if I lack fire? Then you'd be bored. You have no spark. You had nothing to get up and go to push you and to make you want to learn or do things. It becomes boring and monotonous, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So what if you had no air? Well, you probably don't do too much talking. You know, and you got everything else. So somebody is going to want to talk, but then somebody ain't going to want. Yeah. I'm just not a talker. I don't, and so you'll dry out either way. You understand enough about the combinations. You must try to find someone that can complete all of the combinations.
Yes.
So if I had to go with, I was thinking about if I could go without a combination. I can't. I know now that I need them all, just like in your body. You need everything to work. You need your heart, your mind. You need all of this to work.
Yes.
When you have a clock, you need the minute hand. You need it. But even if you have the long hand, it means nothing. You need a minute hand. You understand? In life, everything has a system. And in astrology, it's the same system. And your love life is the same system. You understand? And when something lacks, the relationship will lax too. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I think that's all we have to say. Well, we have a lot to say, but we just gave you a
crash course.
Crash course. We hope you enjoy this. When you look at it, it was revealed to me by my ancestors. So, like I said, I understand it, but like it's here a little, there a little. Just try. When you meet somebody, ask them their zodiac sign. Find out when they were born. If they don't want to tell you, I don't know. But you can, if they just saying that all you have on them is, well, they are my soulmate. Start there.
Yeah, start.
Can't be that wrong.
No.
It can't be that wrong. What do you think?
No, can't be that
Can
wrong.
be dead wrong.
Right.
But it
at least
also
it's something.
you in the right direction because you in the right. At least you got all the elements, and that is the kicker. And that's what Beyonce and Jay-Z have. The only thing that they don't have, they're not spread it. They just in one little cluster. But if you meet your, like say I meet Gemini, I'm full. I'm around, you know?
Yes.
I'm here, there. I'm all over. So it will work. Now, his moon sign may not match mine. Wrong mate. But don't be surprised if you fall in love. That's what we call a twin flame. You got everything, but you lack something.
Yes.
He feels you physically on the outside, or she feels you physically on the outside, but on the inside you're lacking. And the key is to be able to balance them both. The inward you and the outer you, the masculine and the feminine. The masculine you is the outer you, and the feminine you is the inner you. And they have to find a balance. That's why on the zodiac wheel, they have scales, because you need to be balanced. On the zodiac wheel, they have the virgin. Why? Because we need somebody to watch the eternal flame.
Yes.
When you have on the zodiac wheel, you need a Sagittarius. Why? You need somebody that is wild and buck and crazy, but think like a man. You understand? You need the fish, because fish swim in direction, but they go into the deepest depths of the ocean, at least as far as fish or any kind of sea creature can go. You need the balance. Everything, the twins, balance. The fish, balance. You understand? The horse, half animal, half man. Why? A centaur. But he's always, or she's always aiming up with arrows of truth. It will balance it all out. And the key is finding the mate for you. It is not easy, but when you begin to talk and you meet people and you ask them their sign, if they, I wouldn't say, well, I'm not going to date you, because me, I would now. But before, I'm definitely going in on that. Go ahead.
Yes, no, I find it amazing. I was just thinking about it because in astrology, they have what they call the four corners or the four angles. Now, this has nothing to do with soulmates. Okay, maybe it does have a little bit to do something with soulmates, but the 4 points is what they would call like your like ascendant point, because that's very important. And then they have what they'll be at the very bottom of your chart, which they call the IC, and that's your spiritual roots. And then they have another point, which is called your descendant, which is something opposite of the ascendant, which is a balancing pair. And then they have something in the very top, which is the midheavens, which is all about spirituality. These poles and axis have something to do with each other, like ascendant and descendant, and then the bottom of the heavens and the top of the heavens. But these 4 points all have zodiac signs that are naturally about balance. Pisces is the 12th house. It's at the very end. It's at that corner. And Pisces are the 2 fish. At the very bottom, where it's all about the spiritual heavens and roots and where you come from, that is right on the borderline of Gemini, which is the 2 twins. And then your descendant sign, which is in the 7th house, has to do with the Libras, which is the 2 scales. And then at the very top of the chart, where the midheavens and the divine energy comes from, they say it's Capricorn, but Sagittarius.
It's Sagittarius because it's the dual. Why? Because it's half man and half horse.
Yes.
Capricorn is the goat. It is the Baphomet. Take it as it resonates, but I don't think anything evil about it, because really a Baphomet is I guess it depends on how you see it or how you worship it, but
Mhm.
it is male, female, it's north, south, east, west. It is a balancing too, but nobody, without going deep into it. So, but the up in your mid-heavens, it would be the Sagittarius,
Yes.
because that is a dual sign,
Mhm.
half man, half beast.
Yes. So that's very interesting. At the 4 points naturally have duality signs.
So it's proving what the ancestors said to you. You have to find a balance.
Mhm.
And if you have too much water, you're just asking for trouble. You have to be able to put the both of you to make sure that you cover the wheel. Not everything, but even if you could just cover it on the outer or cover it on the inner,
Mhm.
at least you got a good chance to work against odds. Why? Look at Jay-Z. They may break up, but they so much alike. And just imagine you being with somebody that balanced you out.
Yes.
Think about that. You covered everything between you two,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, you haven't did it all, but you got half of a picture. Half is better than nothing at all,
Yes.
or a quarter.
Mhm.
Half is better than a quarter.
Yes.
And so the goal is you want to try to find that full complete so you can have the balancing, because our whole world is balanced. Everything about it
Mhm.
is balanced. And if anything is imbalance, it doesn't hold up. It falls. Doesn't mean it ends. It just trouble,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Unnecessary.
Mhm.
I hope we explained it.
Yes,
I
you
hope
definitely.
you enjoyed it. Now,
I am
your
so
turn.
sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
Did you choke off your saliva? Or you
No.
caught it?
No, my throat was so dry. I felt my vocal cords vibrate against each other. No, you like literally inspired me like right just now. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I should plan a little bit and like make a separate video just talking about how important like the 4 corners and way the chart is broke down.
We can do that.
Okay.
Maybe if we don't have anything next month,
Mhm.
maybe we will continue this.
Yeah, talk about below the horizon, above the horizon.
Because you know, a lot of times people don't show up for our videos, but we do have at least 100 people see it or more. So
Yes.
I don't worry about it when
Mhm.
nobody shows. I'm showing up, and eventually they will.
Yes. So if you would like that idea, talking about the
I
points,
would.
yes, please comment down below.
I'm commenting. It's done.
Okay.
Because we can do that the next time.
All right.
We can continue this because this was a crash course, but we
was.
gave you the best we could in the amount of time. You can't learn it all,
Mhm.
but you got an idea. At least we gave you an idea to how to look. And if you're in a relationship and you're wondering why it don't last, now you can say, this is why.
Mhm.
We lack this.
Yes.
And they can't fix it. You can't get blood from a rock. It doesn't, it just is what it is. And you can say, that's what I lack, and that is what it is.
Mhm.
And maybe you can find that in your best girlfriend or your boyfriend, and that can make the balance in your marriage. But see, there it is. Somebody's coming in.
Yes.
See how people can cheat? That's why.
Mhm.
You need to feel balanced.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about. I truly hope you understand. Anything else you want to say?
No.
But you enjoyed it.
Yes, I definitely did. I got inspired from our own conversation. Thank you.
Did I thank you, ancestors?
Yes.
Did I make sense to you?
Yes, you definitely
Well, you
did.
definitely made sense to me.
Thank you.
So with that being said, we say thank you for joining us as we leave this beautiful night.
Yes.
And we leave you with a lot to think about.
Oh, yes.
Please consider it. Try it. It's not easy,
No.
but it's a start.
Yes.
And with that, we love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend,
Yes.
as we say. Sunflowers!